Okay, it looks like Srimad Bhagavatam is gonna happen today. Wow. But Kajesh, are you on Redana player? Play something.
Cartel.
No, no. On Redana. Just make up things. Yeah. They can play. I empower you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's play some.
No, just do something. We will see. It will come up. The Lord is in the heart. He will help. Pray to Krishna and you will play beautiful. Jaya. Radha Mangalam Kunjami Hari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjami Hari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Gopi Jana Avalam Vishnu Varadari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Jaya Gopi Jana Valama Girivaradari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari
Yashodananda Brajadana Rajana
Yashodanandana
Yashodananda Rajadana Ranjana
Yashodanandana
Jamunantira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jamunantira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jayadhavanam Kunjabi Hari
Jaya Rama Madhava Kunja Vihari
Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Jaya Ashto Tarasata Shri Srimad Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shmatopad Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the Assembled Devotees. Todas las glorias a los devotos reunidos. Tutta la gloria per tutti i devoti riuniti. All glories to Shinguru, all glories to Shingauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Srimad. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 232.
213.
213. Three. Nitraya
Nitraya
Kriyate
Kriyate
Naktam
Naktam
Vyavayena
Vyavayena
Jam
Cha
Va
Va
Vayaha
Vayaha
Diva
Diva
Cha
cha,
artha,
artha,
ihaya,
ihan,
ihaya,
ihaya,
rajan,
rajan,
kutumba,
kutumba,
bharanena,
varanena,
va,
va,
nidraya shriyate naktam,
nidaya kriyate nakam,
vyavayena chabhabayaha,
vivayena chayavaya,
divachate haya rajam,
divachate gaya rajan,
kutumba bharanena va,
kutumba varanena va,
nidraya shriyate naktam,
nidraya kriyate nakam,
vyavayena chabhabayaha,
vivayena chayavaya,
divachate haya rajan,
divachate gaya rajan,
kutumba bharanena va,
kutumba varanena va, nidraya kriyate nakam,
nidraya hriyate naktam,
Yavayena Chavavaya
vyavayena chabhabayaha,
Divachate Haya Rajan
divachate haya rajan,
Kutumbha Bhajanena Va
kutumba bharanena va,
Nidraya Hriyate Nakam
nidraya hriyate naktam,
Yavayena Chavavaya Yavayena Chavavaya Divachate Haya Rajan Divachate Haya Rajan Kutumba Bhajanena Va Kutumba Bhajanena Va.
Anyone from the online wants to chant? Are they? No. Okay. Nidraya,
Nidraya
by sleeping.
by sleeping
Kriyate,
Kriyate
wastes.
wastes
Naktam,
Naktam
night.
night
Vyavayena,
Vyavayena
sex indulgence.
sex indulgence
Cha,
Cha
also.
also
Ba,
Va
either.
either
Vayaha,
Vayaha
duration of life.
duration of life
Diva,
Diva
days.
days
Cha,
Cha
and
and
Artha,
Artha
economic. Ihaya,
Ihaya
development.
development
Rajan,
Rajan
O king.
king
Kutumba,
Kutumba
family members.
Bharanena
Bharanena, maintaining. Va,
Va
either. Translation and purport by His Evangelist A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night, either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime, either in making money or maintaining family members. Perfect. The present human civilization is primarily based on the principles of sleeping and sex indulgence at night, and earning money in the day and spending the same for family maintenance. Such a form of human civilization is condemned by the Bhagavatam school. Because human life is a combination of matter and spirit soul, the whole process of Vedic knowledge is directed at liberating the spirit soul from the contamination of matter. The knowledge concerning this is called Atma Tattva. Those men who are too materialistic are unaware of this knowledge and are more inclined to economic development for material enjoyment. Such materialistic men are called karmis, or fruitive laborers, and they are allowed regulated economic development for association of women for sex indulgence. Those who are above the karmis, that is, the jnanis, yogis, and devotees, are strictly prohibited from sex indulgence. The karmis are more or less devoid of Atma Tattva knowledge, and as such, their life is spent without spiritual profit. The human life is not meant for hard labor for economic development, nor is it meant for self-indulgence like that of the dogs and hogs. It is especially meant for making a solution to the problems of material life and miseries thereof. So the karmis waste their valuable human life by sleeping and sex indulgence at night, and by laboring hard in the daytime to accumulate wealth. And after doing so, they try to improve the standard of materialistic life. The materialistic way of life is described here in a nutshell, and how foolishly men waste boon of human life is described as follows. Wow. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yenam Bhutale Svanupagram Svapadantikam Panchakapatam Vyashta Kripa Sindhudeva Chapadita Pavam Vaishnava Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we have amazing verse, which is this first chapter of second canto is like a legendary part of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's kind of setting up the mood of the whole book. And of course, in the first canto is also there, but this second canto is kind of practically starting in a very auspicious way. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Shukadeva Goswami is glorifying King for his questions, which he asked at the end of first canto. And then, before answering his questions, Shukadeva Goswami is explaining what not should be done, what should not be done, what's not Krishna consciousness. Eating, sleeping, eating, becoming, all these things which are very dear to everyone in this world. It's kind of not really appreciated. It's always there, you know. Even if we, you know, sometimes people will ask, and what if everyone becomes like you? Sometimes Prabhupada was asked by reporters. It's famous recording in Prabhupada. I believe it was airport reception and like press conference, and Prabhupada was sitting there. And the reporter asked Prabhupada, what if everyone would take up Krishna consciousness to the same level as you? Well, you know, how would it, what would happen then? Srila Prabhupada said, yeah, everyone would be very peaceful and happy. And then Prabhupada said, and there will be no more hippies. And they asked him, so what do you mean by hippies? He said, you know better than something extraordinary. Srila Prabhupada also explained that word hippie, there is a Vedic version of the word hippie. Any ideas? What is the Vedic version of hippie. Vedic term, Sanskrit term. Any ideas? Maybe Adinat Krishna from. I don't know why all these devotees blocked from their opportunity to say something.
Might be at work.
Oh, they are working.
Is
Krishna.
it Avaruta?
Who said that? Satvat Prabhu?
Yes.
Well, Avadhuta usually means somebody who's so transcendental that he neglects all social. Basically, it refers to Atma Ramas or very advanced souls who can actually, behave like externally as irresponsible children, but internally they are very much Krishna conscious. So hippies definitely don't belong to that category. Actually, Prabhupada did say that hippie means Varna Sankara. This is something Krishna explains in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. He explains that Varna Sankara means unwanted population. Unwanted population produced by unregulated sex life. Consciousness of parents before conceiving child basically determines what kind of person is, joining that family. So if parents are not regulated, you can just imagine how much irregulated the progeny will be. And it just goes on, generation after generation. Pretty much all generations are complaining about the new generation. Because new generations, they're just going down. And also Srila Prabhupada said that Varna Sankara, hippie, means materially and spiritually useless. Means they're not qualified for any duty, fixed occupation or vocation. They just want to have so-called free love, like monkeys, free weed smoking, and of course they usually what they did in those days, they didn't want to work, so they would just sell drugs and consume drugs. That was the way of life. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. Basically useless. So hippie is extreme example of somebody who is Shishna Udara Jiva. Parayana. Parayana means totally surrendered to the urges of the tongue, which means drinking liquor, smoking weed, and talking nonsense. And we can see all this rock music. It's a product of uncontrolled existence, uncontrolled mind, which wants to enjoy and then it's frustrated. So this rock music, very usually if you think about it, sometimes in shopping center, it's very much, if somebody tells me that a happy person is singing this and playing this kind of music, I just cannot accept. Honestly, that doesn't sound like a happy person at all. Usually it's very angry, they want to make their own point in a very rough way, and actually they are disappointed and angry. So these are extreme examples of Jiva Shishna Udara Para. They have totally surrendered to urges of the tongue. They have surrendered to their belly. They want to eat anything, anything. And of course, Shishna means genitals. They want to enjoy life, and it's totally irresponsible. And we can see the result of irresponsible, unregulated sex life is abortions. So many abortions. Question arises: are these for unwanted children Americans or not? They are Americans. So it's not just a lump of matter. Soul is there, and it's forcefully kicked out of the womb legally, which is very bad, and it brings a lot of misfortune. That person is kicked out again and again. Wombs of different mothers, and eventually, I mean, I never read it in scriptures, but I can imagine if somebody gets kicked out quite a few times out of the womb of irresponsible parents. Can you imagine how this person, when he gets the chance, he might be a very angry person, finally coming to this world. So sometimes parents nowadays are surprised. Uh, why my sister, she would tell me that her daughter, she would say, I hate you. My sister's daughter would tell to her mother, my sister, that she hates her and she doesn't want to cooperate. So this is just illustration how basically irregulated materialistic life basically creates hellish situation in society. Yeah, hellish situation. No law, no order. Of course, there are some laws. Fortunately, still there is something in human civilization. There's always some kind of organization. So definitely, it's better than just being surrounded with a pack of hungry wolves or jackals. It's better to live in this European society still at this point of time. But even uh, even regulated sense gratification without the purpose of self-realization, understanding Krishna, going back to Godhead, cultivating knowledge, renunciation, even for grihastas, that spirit of knowledge, renunciation is very much appreciated in Vedic culture. That's why Brahmanas are respected. I, from materialistic point of view, Brahmanas are useless. From modern Western materialistic, Brahmanas are useless. They're just giving the opium for the people called religion and so mythology, and they are just making people feel guilty because they cannot give up sex life, which is very natural. So these poor people, they have a kind of, what do you call it? They feel bad because they engage in sex life. They like to enjoy life at festivals and yeah, so they feel bad. So because they feel bad, they think, okay, let me give some donations so I feel less bad. And this is how materialistic people think. religion is useless. Let people just do free. That's what this famous poet called Allen Ginsberg, who actually was very sympathetic to Srila Prabhupada. He was not really, he was quite revolutionary in a negative sense. That's why hippies, they appreciated him very much. He had the Freudian, everyone knows about Sigmund Freud. He was one of the greatest rascals in the history of this earth. But unfortunately, he became a very prominent philosopher. Although most of his ideas were refuted even by modern psychology, still he is quoted as an authority because people unfortunately think they don't have better, we can say, acharyas for psychology. Although, I mean, Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedic scriptures, most probably even Greek philosophers were much better off than Freud and pretty much others who came later. So this Allen Ginsberg, he had an idea that, yeah, just let it go, you know. All these wars and aggression, they come because people are suppressing their sexual urge. So just let it go and it will be just fine. So actually he was advocating, can you imagine that? It looks funny even from nowadays perspective, but he was publicly advocating that government should organize public orgies. Like orgy means, everyone is having sex with everyone, and free LSD. And that was his idea of love and peace. It's totally horrible. It's totally opposite, from natural human uh, existence and what humans are actually meant for. But somehow he liked Prabhupada, he even helped him. But of course, he respected Prabhupada, but he had his moments. Engagements. I believe he also helped Prabhupada to get the extension of visa in America.
Yes.
Yeah, so he did some service. Actually, when he was in India, he was exposed to chanting Hare Krishna, so it really touched his heart. And from then on, he also used to chant. Those were the times. Yeah, and we can see that these hippies, history showed, they practically disappeared. That kind of lifestyle, it just ruined what was the Timothy Leary's, just destroy yourself with drugs and sense gratification. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So all these hippies, they realized that free love produced a lot of kind of pregnancies, and those who didn't kill their children, they ended up getting jobs and cutting their hair and and if you want to do a job, you can just get high in the morning with LSD and for a couple of days, just be in the outer space. So yeah, they kind of became a little bit regulated, but then even as I wanted to say, even regulated sense gratification, like marriage, and how much is it to regulate? You can see nowadays people think, oh, just enjoy life within the family, but regulation, spiritual, minimizing sense gratification just for the sake of maintaining healthy life. And just overindulging in sense gratification is not even healthy. But just regulating your life to avoid disease, just to be kind of healthy materially. I remember this gentleman from Mumbai who helped Srila Prabhupada very much. His name was Mr. Sethi. He was something like, I think he was some kind of businessman. And he also, he was like a little bit like a, city feudalist, if you know what I mean. He had his own armed guards who actually helped protecting Juhu project when Prabhupada was starting it. And he helped, he had connections with police, with, lawyers and stuff. So he really helped Prabhupada. But Mr. Sethi, in one of his testimonies, he yeah, with a big smile on his face, he was telling the story how he met Prabhupada first time. Apparently, he met him in Mumbai, and then he, what's gonna happen? No. So Mr. Sethi was asked by Srila Prabhupada, so when you get up in the morning, what do you do? Do you know now?
A little idea.
Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada asked him, so Mr. Sethi, in the morning when you get up, what do you do? And Mr. Sethi said, I get up in the morning, I take shower and put the clothes, and I make a cup of tea, and I make some toast, and I take a cup of tea and my toast, and then I go to work. And then Srila Prabhupada asked him, so what is the difference between you and a pig? That was Henry. And this gentleman was smiling. Obviously, he was coming from a religious background. And he knew where is Prabhupada coming from. All these heavy statements in Shastra, sometimes we hear, these kind of offensive statements for average modern person, they are meant for their benefit.
Mm.
We should understand when we see, women are like this, materialistic people are like that. They are just like, uh, dogs, pigs, donkeys, this and that. But, it's not like hatred. It's out of love, out of compassion. Love can be also love for superiors, respect for superiors, love between friends, and concern and genuine care for people who are under a shelter, or for those who have no shelter. That's called compassion. So we should understand. And of course, Mr. Sethi, he could understand this some case. And actually he said, yeah, actually Prabhupada was right. It's just a polished animalistic life. It's not like hippies who really go into, closer to animal life. But we can see even many animals For most animals, they have also regulated life. So that doesn't really qualify as humans. Human beings should be, yeah, better off. They deserve better life. And that better life, to understand bhakti, to understand spiritual science, to understand Krishna, it takes it takes something. And now people will say, ah, okay, then what is, yeah, this verse can sound like, this kind of offending all householders, just either sleeping or having sex, and daytime they're just making money, maintaining family members. It's not about against householders. Householders. Most of followers of Lord Chaitanya were householders. Pretty much whole entourage of Lord Krishna, including Pandavas, Yadu dynasty, they were all householders. There's nothing wrong with household life. But thinking that household life is all in all and neglecting human mission, that's big trouble. That's a big problem. Uh, so what to do? Should we just give up family? Should we just give up everything? Live like homeless, illiterate sadhus who smoke bidi and just beg? And is that the message of Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam actually says that Stale Stita Shruti Datam Tanuvan Vanopi. 10th canto, Brahma's prayers. Jnane prayasamudapasya vata eva jivanti sammukaritam bhavati eva vata. Stane stita shrutidatam tanuvam danobi chet prayasho jitta jittopyasitaistavok. Human form of life is so potent, so powerful, that you can arrest Krishna. Ice. There's ice. They're catching immigrants. Sir, come over here. Come over here or I'm gonna shoot you. Because I don't know if that's gonna work for Krishna. But Hridya Varudyate Tat Kshanat is that the second verse. Second verse of Bhagavatam. Without any delay, one who pays attention to hearing about Krishna in a very mystical way, he'll be able to just get that capture. Now this one wants to get the caption. They want to get the photo. Then something exciting happens. But here's a challenge for human society. Why don't you guys capture Krishna, supreme, absolute truth, Satyam Paramari. And how we do it? By hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Remembering, when it becomes mature, it becomes samadhi. Means total absorption in the object in meditation. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the means of that conquest. That's the matter. Hearing about Krishna, Krishna's philosophy, Krishna's forms, names, activities, Krishna's teachings, Krishna's beauty, it becomes very nice. So all this, okay. So what you are trying? Are you trying to tell us that we should hear, chant, remember Krishna 24 hours a day? What did you? Is that a good idea?
As much as I can.
As much as we can. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea, but how do you do it? Do you think of Krishna and chant and hear? I mean, you are a brahmachari, Prabhu. Are you actually hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna? Now you cannot lie. The altar is open. Now tell us approximately how much out of 24 hours a day, how much you are actually involved in Krishna consciousness?
Maybe a few hours to.
Few hours. That's very discouraging because you don't go to work, and I think it's more. I don't think it's few hours.
Mm, and actively 6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours.
Then is the background. In the background, for example, distributing books.
Yeah, when we distribute books, we also indirectly think about Krishna. Actually, it's very difficult not to think about Krishna. For example, if I stop people on the street and I tell them, look, I have a friend, his name is Jeff, and I would like to introduce you to my friend. How do you like that idea? I mean, most probably I would just think about Jeff for those 6 or 8 hours. Am I right? So it's very nice. This process of Krishna consciousness is called Anushila. It means it's continuous and it's something which is being cultivated or developed gradually. So that's really good. So we don't have to start with 24 hours being immersed in Krishna. We can just start as much as we can. And the best way to start is instead of getting up in the morning, taking shower. Some people don't even take shower. They just put their clothes on and they make their tea and toast. I mean, it looks like very civilized life, but Prabhupada said it's a pig. So at least what we can do, if we can't think about Krishna 24 hours, let's make it a point to let's ask ourselves, what are we doing for the first couple of hours of our day when we get up? We can ask ourselves, can we actually hear, chant, and remember Krishna in those first? Some you can start with 15 minutes, half an hour. And as his spiritual appetite and strength increase, he'll be hungry for more, he'll take more. When he takes more, his strength increases, but appetite also increases. So this Krishna consciousness is very natural. In the beginning, we might have to kind of force ourselves a little bit, but as we are taking medicine, we feel benefits. Then we get the taste. So Srimad Bhagavatam is all about that. He's encouraging us. Okay, now you start. Best way to start is early in the morning. You just put Krishna as priority. Don't turn off your airplane mode. Some people, they keep their mobile on in the middle of the night, they get up. They don't need to get up, they open and they scroll and but in the morning, at least in the morning, let's be sannyasis. Let us all be sadhus and gurus and sannyasis. So just how do you imagine a guru, sannyasi, sadhu, what he does in the morning?
It's a cold bath.
Cold bath.
There's a very formal watching chant.
To chant before Mangalarti. And then
Then it says RT. The chants in the
then he comes for Arti, chants more.
Wow.
Yeah. If that's not practical, one can stay also at home and just do focus chanting for some time. Have some prayers, just like we have this Mangalarti, Guru Ashtakam. One can learn all these prayers because what we do every day, that we become. Repetition, it becomes part of your kind of subtle body. Chanting Guru Ashtakam, same time. Wow, it's very powerful. And every day hearing, chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. We should come to the level when if we miss just one day of this morning schedule of chanting, hearing, we should feel I'm starving myself. I need this. That's why it is said Smartavya Satatam Vishnu Vismartavya Matyachit Save Vidi Nishadasya Etarevakink. So this Krishna consciousness or Vedic culture is so nice. It creates nice atmosphere for people to do things which are needed, but they should be done. And also there are prohibitions which kind of makes us feel bad. Sometimes the devotees they ask, Prabhu, I feel I have so many items and bad qualities, and I feel so bad about it. And I like to say to such devotees that means you're really a normal person. If you feel bad about bad things, that's good. I mean, can you imagine yourself? There are all those bad things in your heart, maybe inability to follow principles or something, and you feel great. I mean, we should feel bad about bad things. We should repent. We should try to improve. So somebody can do it alone. That's also okay. But in general, those who try to do it alone, they eventually realize actually it's much better if I'm surrounded with people doing the same thing. If I join the Mangalarti club, actually it's much better. It's like doing business alone. It's also good. Some people they manage that. They start alone, cleaning shoes, the street. I've never seen those in America. They don't clean shoes. They just bought milk once. Yeah. But those who try to do it alone, the business, eventually they realize, wait a minute, if I'm just kind of enter into partnership with my son-in-law or something like that, with a bigger initial capital, then we could invest and, open up a store or something, start something online. It's easy. 2, 3 people, 4 team of 4 or 5 people. Wow. They can do much more than one. That's what Jamaican Pant he used to say. Alone, nobody can do it instead of you. You should search for self-realization. You should look for your ultimate interest. And if you want to learn, study Srimad Bhagavatam or anything else, having a partner, it's helpful. If you want to chant, if you want to sing, you need 3 people. 3 people for singing. Bahubi Militva Sankirtana. Sankirtana means plural. And in Sanskrit, plural starts with 3. Because in Sanskrit there is singular, dual, and plural. In English, it's just singular and plural. It is a day. And if you want to travel, it's best if you are. That's a good thing to travel. And if you want to work in a field, like how that
Shovel.
it's not a shovel, it's like cutting the grass or they do it with
Harvest.
this long thing on a stick, and then you take that stick and then cut weeds or whatever. People used to do that by hands. So if you have 5 people, you can do a lot of work. Cut a lot. And there were also mechanical devices even back then. How to do it more efficiently. 5 people work in a field, work on a particular area. Yeah. And if you have a lot of people, you can start a war. Try to conquer the direction, become Digvijaya. Yeah. So in Krishna consciousness also. It's nice if somebody understands, okay, I need to think of Krishna consciousness. But then, if I just try to find some like-minded devotees with whom I can get along with, sometimes so that we can get along with all devotees, all ages, or all walks of life. Find some kind of like-minded circle, devotees are encouraging each other. And yeah, just go for it. Do your thing in the morning, and whatever you do in the morning, it will create powerful impression in your mind throughout the day. And you will naturally be chanting Hare Krishna. That's how the mind is. Mind can be opposed to chanting, hearing, remembering Krishna. But once it gets into it a little bit, it just becomes, actually, it becomes natural. It's not, Krishna consciousness is not just mechanical application. You need that job. Okay, let's just wake up and chant. But eventually, person naturally feels soothing in the heart. Wow, so nice. that anger within me, anger from disappointment, anger because people don't recognize me, they don't love me, or at least people are like this, like that. But it's just kind of extinguished simply by thinking about something than my immediate sense gratification, or subtle glorification. Everyone is a little bit in anxiety and anger. There's always disappointment. That fire is burning. But if we start thinking about Krishna, thinking about serving Krishna, serving devotees, making friendship, exchanging gifts with them, revealing our minds, discussing about Krishna, it becomes very soothing and actually very happy. I would like to stop here. I'm already overdue. If anyone has a question, we can try to answer very quickly and we can close this session.
So I have a question. You said that we can do it in a nice way, exchanging gifts, and we need always more than 2 people, personally, to is it pretty much at least 3
For chanting?
for practicing.
For
Yeah,
singing.
singing.
That's
Yeah.
what I wanted to say.
Okay.
But you could go on Sankirtan alone.
Yeah.
If there's no one, then you can make friends. But in general, at least my experience, having another devotee with you, it makes it much easier, much fun, and people are much more. And people even like it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Maybe some devotees just want to be alone. That's also okay. They're strong enough. But at least those who don't feel so confident, having a partner on book distribution is very nice. And even if somebody is totally inexperienced in, let's say, preaching, explaining to people, having somebody who is, it kind of puts your heart at ease, you know. Okay, I think I can do it. I can just partner with this devotee and see what happens, you know. I can just dress nicely and smile. And that's also nice. Okay. It's also preaching. It's also glorification of Krishna.
So, Prabhu, when we make our own goals in spiritual life, should we have it individual goals or should we have them in the team, especially when we have book distribution goals?
Team is made of individuals. You cannot dismiss individuals. If you don't pay attention to individuals in your team, they will disappear from the team. Or at least they will stop trusting you before you notice that. That they just say, actually, I'm just going to Africa to preach Krishna consciousness because I cannot stand it here. So if you want to have a team, you have to pay attention to individuals. And also encourage individuals to think about the benefit of the team. So we need both. We need community, but we also need, nobody can live without community, human beings, especially transcendentalists in America. Just very mundane atmosphere. So everyone needs support. Anything else? Online? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam.
Ki jai, this one will to ki jai. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining. Have a nice Krishna conscious day.